I will not step a foot in the U.S. territory that is known as Arizona for the rest of my life. Last weekend, I went with both of my legal guardians to take a quick little weekend getaway to Phoenix, Arizona, and I can safely say it was one of the most repugnant experiences of my life. A few clouds would have been nice, Arizona, because when I entered the domain of Arizona, United States, I was displeased in how outrageously sunny it was. The temperature did not once dip below 100 degrees Fahrenheit until the sun had set, and then it became absolutely positively freezing. I do not know how residents of the state of Arizona can survive in these conditions. It is cruel, it is inhumane. I believe that any weatherman who exists in this state is misrepresenting this glorious nation and should be fired from their job immediately, or at least to be forced to resign, and perhaps given another job on their local news team, because I was appalled by frankly how disturbing it was that these people are able to exist in these conditions. Personally, I live in a bordering state of Arizona, and the weather is not nearly as bad, despite the fact that I am closer to the equator geographically than Arizona happens to be, and I'm just so surprised and utterly shocked at how a state that is so close and similar to mine on a surface level can be so disgusting. Now, I suppose some of my activities could have been more indoor oriented, but outdoor activities are a no-go for anyone who plans to visit or perhaps live, God forbid, in Arizona. It is a treacherous landscape. It is orange probably because it has been tinted by the sun and has been permanently scarred, and it is a scar on our earth. Now, if I have not done this yet, but I believe if I were to check from perhaps Google Earth or even Google Maps on Street View, you notice a stark contrast to the rest of the surrounding nation. I believe it is most likely green and perhaps a light brown around the state of Arizona, and Arizona is an orange, horrible tan on the earth. I did not test this out, but I do have my suspicions that I could have in fact cracked an egg onto the hood of my mother's Volvo, and I believe that it would have, in fact, fried. The concrete is an exaggeration. To say that a standard farm to market egg could have cracked and cooked for human consumption on the sidewalk, not only is that just filthy from a germ standpoint, but scientifically there's no way it could work. But the hood of my mother's car, even the top of it, I do believe that there could have been some scientific experiments had I had access to any standard egg. Now, will I return to Arizona? What are the conditions that would cause me to return there? Absolutely nothing. There could be a gun to my head. Perhaps a pinky is cut off of my finger and sent to loved ones. I wouldn't even wish that they rescue me because I don't believe that my life is worth a day in Arizona. All in all, it was a very big waste of my precious time here on Earth because I was unable to upload. I was unable to talk with my inner circle of close friends I have here, and I risked getting burned at every moment. Luckily for me, I stayed mostly indoors, and when my guardians did activities such as go to the Grand Canyon or even just go out for dinner, I refused and I stayed within the confines of my hotel room and ordered room service. A high price to pay, but definitely a worthy one in order to avoid the harsh rays of the Arizona sun. I will concede that the landscape of this desert state is quite refreshing in comparison to maybe some of the suburban area that I have been conditioned to live in, but it is not one worth experiencing, unfortunately. And frankly, I would rather live I would much rather live my life having not experienced that. That was a risk I would not take again. All right, see you tomorrow. More videos to come.